Welcome to Football with Cheese. You know, I was at the grocery store this morning because it's supposed to snow maybe Monday or Tuesday. I live in the South, in a town that doesn't get snow very often. And you're supposed to buy milk, bread, eggs. That's what you do. And I didn't buy milk, but I bought bread and eggs. But all these people were buying bottled water. One guy, half his cart was full of bottled water. And I'm thinking, you get free water if it snows. Just take a bucket outside the snow, bring it in, let it melt. Free water. But that's crazy. People here in the South, they think bottled water is what you buy. It's milk, bread, eggs. Come on. That's what you buy. And I did. I bought some cheese too, of course. A lot of cheese. And produce. Okay. So, yesterday, we previewed today's games, Saturday's games. If you did not get to see that, I will link it in the description. Today, we're going to preview the Sunday games. They are Rams at Eagles and Ravens at Bills. The Bills have been to the Super Bowl 4 times. 4 straight years, actually, late 80s, early 90s. Lost all 4. Crazy. Have not been back since. You just don't see a stat like that. Those Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith teams were really good. They just could not win the big one. Eagles have been 4 times. They won once in 2018. That was the Nick Foles quarterback year. Nick Foles, in case you didn't know, was a backup. He wasn't a very good starter. He was a career backup and then caught fire. He played unbelievable in the NFC title game and the Super Bowl. He played like a Hall of Famer in those 2 games and then never played good again, but he was so good then, and they won the Super Bowl. The Rams have been there 5 times, 2 wins. Well, should be 3 wins. The Patriots cheated and basically stole a Super Bowl, but that's a video for another time. The last time the Rams won was in 2022, 3 years ago. And then we have the Ravens. They've been twice and won both times, in 2001 and 2013. Okay. So we're going to start with Rams-Eagles here. They met earlier this year in LA, and it was very one-sided. The Eagles won 37-20. And the Rams last week, if you watched them play the Vikings, it was actually Monday night in Arizona because of the fires. They dominated up front. Got 9 sacks. Their defensive line was getting off blocks. Sam Darnold, the Vikings quarterback, was holding the ball too long. They got 8 of their 9 sacks just rushing 4. So they didn't even have to blitz, and they were getting pressure. That will not happen against the Eagles. The Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in the game, maybe the best pass-blocking offensive line. That tandem of Jordan Mailata and Lane Johnson at tackle is probably the best in the game. So you have to come up with another game plan. Plus, Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Eagles, much more mobile than Sam Darnold. So even if you get some pressure, he can run away from it a lot easier. But the Rams, to win this game, they cannot get behind like they did against the Eagles earlier this year and let Saquon Barkley go off. Saquon Barkley is just incredible running back. Ran for 255 yards in that game against the Rams. Barkley almost broke the rushing record for a single season this year. That's how good he had. The key for the Rams is you got to get ahead. I say this with all these teams, but it's a key in the NFL. And my game plan would be feed Kyron Williams, the outstanding running back for the Rams. Feed him, have a run-first game plan to start. I know you have Puka Nacua. I know you have Cooper Kupp, and you have Matthew Stafford. They're amazing. The passing game is terrific. But the Eagles' pass defense is very good. And you got to keep Saquon Barkley off the field. I would have more of a run-first approach, especially early on. Rams played Monday night, so the Eagles have one more day to prepare. Rams had to go to Arizona because of the fires, travel back to LA, and then travel to Philadelphia. And Philadelphia has an extra day. And freezing weather. It's going to start noon Pacific, so it's an early start. A lot of things going against the Rams. Jared Verse, he's going to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I don't know how he doesn't. He had probably his worst game against the Eagles this year. I think the key for the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, don't make mistakes. We have a talented offense. We have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith at receiver. We have Dallas Goedert. We have Saquon Barkley. We have an offensive line. Don't make mistakes, Jalen Hurts. If he starts throwing interceptions, they could be in trouble. So, yeah, we'll see. The Eagles are favored by 6.5. We'll do the prediction at the end. Now, Buffalo hosts Baltimore. This could be the game of the year. Looking forward to this game. I wish it was the AFC title game. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are the two favorites for MVP. I think Lamar's going to beat him. It should be close. Temperature is probably going to be in the teens. I don't think that'll affect it much because both these teams know how to win in cold weather. They did play earlier this year, and just like the Rams versus Eagles, it was very one-sided. The Ravens played them at home and won 35-10. Now, that was early in the year, and the Bills were still trying to figure out their offense. They had a lot of new wide receivers on the team. They were still trying to figure things out. It's before they traded for Amari Cooper. So the offense has gotten better for Buffalo since then. But Derrick Henry ran for 199 yards, and the Ravens team ran for 271 yards in the game. That's how you beat the Bills. You can run on the Bills. That is their weakness on defense. It's not exposed enough because the Bills' offense is so good, they usually get ahead. And when you're ahead in the NFL, typically you start passing the ball. The Ravens built a 21-3 halftime lead on the Bills and just ran the ball. And that's how you beat the Bills. You run against them. James Cook for the Bills, the star running back, only had 9 carries, and he had 1 catch. He only had 10 touches. That's not enough. They need to feed Cook, get him a ton of carries. He's one of their best offensive weapons. Zay Flowers, the receiver for the Ravens, is not going to play again. It did not hurt him last week. He didn't do much in the first game against the Bills. He had 1 catch, but they were so far ahead. We'll see if it affects the Ravens. Like I said in another video, Zay Flowers is the guy that Lamar Jackson looks when he needs like a big play, like a 3rd and 7 or 4th and 5. He's typically, especially early in the year, he was the guy that Lamar Jackson looked to. He will not play. I read that he could play next week if they win. One more thing about the Ravens. Lamar Jackson sometimes in the playoffs tries to do too much. Especially in the Chiefs game last year, he tries to do too much. Or the Ravens get behind and they throw the ball like 50 times. That's not their offense. They're a run-first offense with Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson running. So if they get down 10-0 or 14-0, it'll be interesting to see if they just start throwing. That's not their offense. And they've gone away from that. And Lamar Jackson hasn't been quite as good in the postseason. So we'll see if that factors into the game. The reason the Ravens are the 3rd seed and not the 1st or 2nd is because their defense was pretty bad in the first half of the year, especially the pass defense. So what they did was they benched Marcus Williams, the safety, and moved Kyle Hamilton to the free safety position. It changed the whole defense. Williams was struggling. Kyle Hamilton's one of the best safeties in the NFL. Baltimore is now 4th in yards given up in the NFL for the year, and they were 2nd the last 4 games of this season. So they are a different team. They are better than their record. They're probably the most complete team in the AFC. And the Bills obviously have a great offense. It's better than it was when they played the Ravens. The Bills beat Detroit and Kansas City this year, the 2 number 1 seeds. They're the only team to beat both those teams. And they scored 48 at Detroit, and they scored 30 on the Chiefs at home. 2 very good defenses. So the Bills can just go off. Even though the Ravens defense has been playing well, the Bills could just go off for 40 any game. Okay. Prediction time. Eagles favored by 6.5 at home. So the Rams, short week, on the road, East Coast, noon Pacific start. I just think it's a bad matchup for the Rams. I like the Eagles minus 6.5. I think they're going to take it. Like I said, it's all about matchups sometimes, not necessarily about who's better. Eagles are very good. I think at home, cold weather, they take it. And then the Ravens are actually favored by 1 at Buffalo. And you know I have to pick a road team. I have to pick a road team. I just think the Ravens just have a better defense than the Bills. Both have amazing offenses. Both have amazing quarterbacks. Both have amazing running backs. I just think Baltimore's defense is better. I think they cover the one and they win at Buffalo. Now, depending on what happens today, if the Texans upset the Chiefs, the winner of Bills-Ravens will host the AFC title game against a warm weather team. That would be huge. You'd much rather host the Texans than play at Kansas City. If for some reason Washington upsets Detroit, then the winner of the Rams-Eagles will host the NFC Championship game. So a lot is on the line. You don't want to have to go to Detroit. But look, I don't think the Texans are going to win. I don't think the Redskins are going to win. I don't see it. But if crazy happens, then the Sunday teams, the Sunday winners, will host the championship game. Alrighty. I am 3-3 against the spread in the playoffs. 9-1 in college. Tomorrow, we're going to recap the Saturday games. And then Monday, we'll recap the Sunday games and do my final thoughts on the college football playoff. So make sure you subscribe, like the video. Liking the video is a lot better than not liking the video. So there you go. Turn that bell on for notifications, share this video, and enjoy the games.